can blame a housing market gone wild in many parts of the country, but the cost of living is also climbing because of the pandemic recovery. Prices at the pumps are going up as economies around the world reopen, so-called revenge travel as people shell out for vacations after being cooped up. And the rising price of almost every type of food. You've probably noticed it on your grocery bill.
We've never shut down whole sections of the economy before and then reopened them all at the same time, as has been happening. So this is a very unusual situation.
We recognize that families are concerned about affordability.
The issue was front and center today on the campaign trail.
I think Mr. Trudeau is going to cost you. I also think Mr. O'Toole is going to cost you.
The Conservatives blame the Liberals, claiming they've let inflation run rampant and that unprecedented government spending is worsening the situation. But fighting inflation is the purview of the central bank, and global forces are behind the inflationary trend.
Inflation's even higher in the United States than it is here. So I don't know how they could blame that on Mr. Trudeau.
Food inflation wasn't the biggest driver, but researchers at Dalhousie's Agri-Food Lab, which tracks prices, say the official data doesn't capture the extent of it. We're on track to see the average family shell out nearly $700 more for groceries this year, the biggest increase yet. And this is happening alongside so-called shrinkflation, where packaged amounts of food get smaller. It's a less obvious way to make you pay more.
Analysts say food inflation boils down to COVID-related supply chain issues, rising prices for wheat, corn, and other staples, which impact all kinds of other foods, labor issues, and climate change.
I actually think it's a little unfair to blame the current government for food inflation.
You can manage it by trimming what you spend on food and cutting back on driving. Every little bit helps. As economists predict, elevated inflation is here to stay for the rest of the year and beyond. Anne Gaviola, Global News, Toronto.